So far, it was only possible to use flash loans with ERC20 tokens, but recently a team created a flash loan for NFTs and managed to make some money. It opens up a lot of opportunities for flash loan, and there will be a lot of money to be made for the early adopters. So in this video, I will explain how NFT flash loans work and how you can create your own using Solidity and Node.js. Hey, if you don't know me, I'm Julian, and at Eat the Blocks, I teach blockchain development. Before we can talk of NFT flash loans, we need to talk a bit about its creator, Very Nifty. Very Nifty is the name of a team. They work in the NFT space, and the main project is called NFT20. NFT20 is a trading protocol for NFT. It allows you to tokenize NFTs, which means a single NFT can be split into many ERC20 tokens. This allows anyone to get a fractional ownership of an NFT. This is super useful because it allows anyone, even with a small budget, to get an exposure to expensive NFTs. Side note, if you are interested in NFT tokenization, also called refungible token, I have a video on this on my channel. Some of the tokenized NFT in the NFT20 protocols are part of a collection called Hashmask. We will do our NFT flash loan with Hashmask, so we need to understand how Hashmask works. Hashmask is a collection of more than 60,000 NFT created by 70 artists. Hashmasks are deployed on Ethereum and the images are hosted on IPFS. Hashmasks are related to a token called NCT, short for Name Calling Token. Each day, the current owner of each Hashmask can claim 10 NCT tokens. When you have 1,830 NCT token, you can burn these tokens and change the name of your Hashmask NFT. The ability to change the name of the NFT is what gives value to these NCT tokens. If you could own one of these Hashmask NFT just for a moment, we could claim these daily NCT rewards, and that's when the flash loan comes in. To do an NFT flash loan, you will need to deploy your own flash loan receiver. And you will also interact with other smart contracts, NFT20, the NCT token, and Uniswap. First, you will initiate the process by calling the flash loan function of the NFT20 smart contract. So that's the provider of flash loan. When you initiate the flash loan, you will indicate which NFT you want to borrow and what is the recipient of the loan. After, the NFT20 contract will lend the NFT to the flash loan receiver. After, the flash loan receiver will call the smart contract of the NCT token to claim the NCT reward. The NCT token contract will check that the flash loan receiver owns the NFT, and if that's the case, it's going to send the NCT reward. And after, the flash loan receiver is going to sell the NCT reward on Uniswap and get wrapped Ether in exchange. So this will be your profit. So this part, when you sell the NCT token on Uniswap, is optional. If you want, you can keep the NCT token like that. And after, the flash loan receiver is going to reimburse the NFT to the NFT20 contract. And finally, the wrapped Ether profit will be sent to the investor, and that's the end of your flash loan. So the team of Very NFT put up together a repo for a demo of the flash loan. So this is a Hot project. Hot is an alternative framework to Truffle. And we're gonna go in the contracts folder. First, we're gonna go in NFT20 pairs. So that's the contract that allows to divide an NFT into many ERC20 tokens. That's what allows users to have fractional ownership of an NFT. So we have one NFT20 pair per NFT. So in our case, we're going to use the NFT20 pair of Hashmask. Okay, so let's scroll down. So we're not going to see all function, but we're going to focus on the flash loan function. So that's what triggers the flash loan. First, you need to specify the IDs of the NFT that you want to borrow. Then there is an array for the amount. So this is actually not useful because when you borrow an NFT, you borrow a whole NFT. The amount is 1, but I think the reason why we have an amounts array is because the team of Very Nifty basically copy pasted the flash loan system from Aave and they wanted to keep exactly the same interface, but I might be wrong here. But in any case, we have to provide this in input, but it's not used. Then the operator is basically the receiver of the loan, and then the byte, so this is some optional data that you can forward to the operator. So here we have a modifier that checks that the flash loan are enabled for this NFT 20 pair. We can only borrow a maximum of 80 NFT at once, and after, depending on the type of NFT, we are going to proceed differently. So if this is 1155, we're going to use this method to send the NFT to the recipient. But in our case, for the hash mask, this is an ERC721. We're going to go there. And for each NFT, we're going to transfer it using the safe transfer from function. We're going to transfer this from the NFT 20 pair contract to the operator, and also specify which ID we want to transfer. And once we have made this transfer, we are going to call the execute operation function on the smart contract of the recipient. And we're going to pass a couple of parameters. So the array of IDs for all the NFT that were lent, then the array of amounts, but that's not useful. Then the address that triggered the whole process. So in my schema in the previous section, that's what I call the investor. And then the optional parameters. And after, we are going to reimburse ourselves. So we're going to transfer the NFT from the operator back to this contract. Okay, so now we're going to see the other contract. So actually, the only one that is really important here is this one. You can ignore the rest. So this is on my schema. This is what I call the flash loan receiver. So you'll have to deploy this smart contract yourself. And so this smart contract has to implement the interface of the flash loan receiver. So that means it has to implement the execute operation function. So first we define a couple of important variables. First, we'll have a pointer to the smart contract of Hashmask. Then we'll have a pointer to the smart contract of the NFT 20 pair that is related to Hashmask. So that's what provides us the flash loan. Then the router of Uniswap, so this allows us to sell our entity token against Wrap Ether, and a pointer to the Wrap Ether contract. So these are addresses on mainnet Ethereum. And after, in the constructor, we are going to call set approval for all for the Hashmask ERC721. So we're going to allow the NFT 20 pair to spend our Hashmask, and this is useful to reimburse the NFT at the end of execute operation. And we're also going to approve our entity token to be spent by Uniswap V2. And so this is going to be useful when we want to sell our entity token against Wrap Ether. And for the amount, we use this trick to approve the maximum amount that you can represent in Solidity. Conceptually, it's almost the same thing as if you were approving infinity. Okay, so then we have the execute operation function. Once we receive our NFT as a loan, this function is going to be called. And so when we start the execution here, we do own the NFT. So the first thing we do is to claim our entity rewards. That's what we do here. And we pass all the IDs of the NFT we received. And then we're going to build a parameter to sell our entity token on Uniswap. So you need to build a path. So we're going to sell entity token, and in exchange we want Wrap Ether. And after, we call the router contract of Uniswap. We call swap exact token for token. So we want to sell our whole balance of NCT. Then we don't put any minimum for the amount of Wrap Ether that we're going to get. Then we pass in the pass that we built before. Then the recipient is going to be our smart contract. And for the timestamp, it doesn't really matter because this is going to be executed in the same block. And after we have sold our entity token, so we are going to transfer some Wrap Ether to the DAO of NFT 20. So I'm not sure if this is actually required. I don't think so. And for the rest of the Wrap Ether, we send this back to ourselves. So here the initiator address, so this was passed by the NFT 20 pair as argument of this function. That's what I call the investor in my schema before. So that was the main function. And we also have another function on ERC721 received, and that's required in order to be able to receive our NFT. That's required by the ERC721 standard. Otherwise, if we don't have this function, the transfer of NFT is going to fail. Okay, so that's it for the smart contract. So after, how can you actually execute the whole thing? So there is a test folder with some very useful code. So I'm going to show you this, flashloan.js. Okay, so here we define some constants. So the address of the NFT 20 pair for the hash mask, the meme pair, you can ignore this. Then these are the ID of the hash mask that we want to borrow. So maximum, you can borrow 80 of them. You can get all the IDs on the website of NFT 20. After, we're gonna have our test. So here in the before callback, we're gonna define a couple of pointer. So a pointer to wrap ether, a pointer to the token contract of Hashmask, a pointer to the NCT contract, then here a pointer to the NFT 20 pair of Hashmask, then here a pointer, and then here we're going to deploy our Flashloan receiver. Okay, so let's scroll down. And what's interesting is in this block, and here what is important is what happened here. So here we are going to call the Flashloan function on the NFT 20 pair of Hashmask. And we pass it the different parameters. So here the token ID. So for the amount, it doesn't matter what we pass because this is not used in the code of the Flashloan. Then the address of our Flashloan receiver after some arbitrary data. So here we just pass something empty. And that's it. After this line of code, our Flashloan is executed, and the rest is just to check the different balances, and we display the result. So I try to execute this, and there are actually some instruction above. So you can execute this by forking mainnet. So you need to create a project in Infura and create a .env file where you put this Infura key, and you run this command in one terminal, and in another terminal you run npx test, and it's going to run the test on a local fork of mainnet. But when I tried to run it, there was an error message of Infura that said that I needed an access to a node with archival state, but it's not provided with the free version of Infura. So if you have a paid account with Infura, you can test this. How can you make money with these NFT flash loans? The most simple way would be to just go on the front end set up by the team of a very nifty, where you can run an NFT flash loan with just a click. It runs a flash loan with the 20 most profitable Hashmask of their collection and claim the NCT reward. Keep in mind, this is not always profitable. For example, currently the profit would be only $1.66, which is less than what you would pay in transaction fees. And you also have to pay 10% of the profit to the DAO of NFT 20. The better solution would be to set up a monitoring script where you detect what is the profit of running an NFT flash loan, and when it's profitable, you run the flash loan automatically with your code. Next, if you want to make money in flash loan as a developer, check out my series on flash loan on my channel. I'll see you there.